This week, OpenAI launched Atlas, its first agentic browser, and it's going to be very, very strategic to the company's success. You see, ChatGPT is the fastest growing product of all time, has hundreds of millions of users, but the usage is sort of flattening. Most people are still using it for simple writing, editing, or Q&A, not really deep work. So OpenAI needs new surfaces where ChatGPT doesn't just talk, it acts. That's why the ChatGPT App Store and Atlas arrive together. The App Store turns ChatGPT into a platform of apps and agents. The Atlas browser embeds this experience directly into the browser. The first sandboxed agentic implementation, sort of like what Chromebooks were to the web. From here, the roadmap is quite clear. The agentic browsers have arrived. The next is agentic native operating systems, both on mobile and desktop. Agentic driving is already happening with what Waymo and Tesla are doing. And finally, an agentic life awaits us where every part of our life is run and controlled by robots. But first, let's jump into Atlas. Now, Atlas is built on Chromium, so the basic experience and features should be the same as Google Chrome, but there are three specific features I want to show you. The first feature is ChatGPT across the web. ChatGPT becomes more contextual. It gets access to your browser window, so it can, for example, read a recipe, the web page, summarize. You can ask follow-up questions, pretty standard stuff. Also, it can act on top of any text windows, clean up your language. Again, the same basic use cases we discussed earlier. The second feature is browser memories. ChatGPT has context and memory of your browsing history. Let's see if it can finally solve my problem of finding that one particular reel that I can never find again on Instagram. And finally, after these incremental improvements, the feature I find the most useful and the most potential to scale agentic actions now. In this demo, for example, the user requested ChatGPT to place the order, so it made its way to Instacart, understood contextually what's on the screen, click the search window to type the ingredients, can move the cursor, understand the UI elements, increase the quantities, and is finally able to place the order. This, I think, can finally be a basic level of RPA or automation, and can finally enhance some productivity by automating some repetitive tasks for a large majority of the population. So, interesting features and a good first step into the world of agentic execution. Now, I have two concerns. One is obvious: security. It comes from the word agentic itself because it's taking actions on its own. And researchers at Brave, who have their own browser, showed a simple demo of how this can be exploited. They created a simple Reddit post with some hidden instruction. This is typically prompt injection. And when a user using an agentic browser, in this case, Comet by Perplexity, says summarize a post, even though the user does not see it, the browser reads instructions which are malicious, like in this case, share the email ID of the users. So agentic browsers, the attack surfaces multiply, and so security becomes a big, big concern. And finally, whoever owns the user has the ability to monetize them. In this case, the browser agent is attempting to become the recommendation layer on top of the websites themselves. So the websites become data pipes into the agent and disintermediates the platforms underneath it. I don't think a Google or an Amazon or a Booking.com would allow this because their entire ad-led monetization models break down. If the agent is picking the products, the agent is making booking the experiences. Uh, Amazon loses its ability to do product discovery. Google loses its ability to do sponsored links. Booking.com can't have hotels paying for premium placements. So that entire commercial model breaks down. I don't think this will be taken lightly. This would go into the same loop of all AI innovation, which is lawsuits, eventual settlements, and some amount of data and revenue sharing. Let's see how this pans out. Until next time.